Welcome back. So we're already talking about Leo season. Happy birthday to you, Leos. We're all a little Leo during Leo season. Of course, if you have major Leo placements in your chart, this may affect you a bit more. I don't think I have anything in Leo, which is my second house. But like I said, we're all a little Leo during during Leo season. So I have all of the cards out here that kind of pertain to Leo. And of course, I love how just color-wise, they all seem to, they all kind of have the same tones. Maybe that's done by design, but I'm here for it. So, when you think of Leo, or I should say when I think of Leo, I think of, like the people who, they like being the center of attention, very, like outgoing, vibrant, right? That's not to say that every single Leo is outgoing and, an actor, or that's just, like the buzzwords, right? I mean, like those are the things that I think about. Actually, we'll take these because I don't necessarily have like a plan. We're just kind of flowing here. But yeah, so when you think about Leo, or I should say when I think about Leo, it's really almost too about like wanting your time here to mean something. So it's like you're really going to live your life to the fullest. There's nothing wrong, of course, too, with wanting to be recognized for, achievements or what you're doing, and I think that's also kind of why, when I think about Leo, there's, kind of being the center of attention, wanting to be recognized for a thing. And too, Leo is ruled by the sun, which, hello, right? I mean, that's life force energy, right? That's illuminating. And like I said before, like vibrant. It's your personality. I mean, like that's your personality sign is your sun sign, right? And on here it says spirit, because again, it's like the essence of who we are is the sun, or our sun sign. That is a bit too many. And then Leo rules over the 5th house of creativity. So again, all of these themes of illumination, vibrancy, creativity, even in this card, it says there, fun house here. So there's this playful, almost like, kind of childlike innocence, but also being a fire sign, there comes this motivation and this ability to, or this desire maybe even to move through things quickly. And we know that Leo is represented by the Strength card in tarot. So, you know, again, that just goes back to kind of the essence of what Leo is. You know, there's a strength there. There's a bit of pride even. I love it. And I just think of like fun and fun loving and, you know, all of the things that kind of go along with play and joy, because, you know, the sun in tarot is literally all of the good feelings, all of the good stuff. It also talks about life, right? You know, like rejuvenation, life force energy. Oh, and we have the King of Wands. I thought that was... For the last few minutes, I honestly thought that was the Knight of Wands. And that's probably... I just saw the K. I love, of course, opening up with a fire card. I mean, I believe that the King of Wands is technically Sagittarius, but it's still in the fire realm, and I love that. And then, you know, I'm noticing here too that Leo, you know, their motto is I will. And that's, you know, that again, like having this life force energy, this will to do. It's almost even like focusing your will on a direction with the fire element. You know, like I said, you know, fire brings in that motivation, that energy to actually go do the thing and put your energy into the thing. And also too, of course, like I said, you know, I mean, there's a lot of like the bottom 3 chakras here too, right? Like we have the root here with the red. We have a lot of oranges and yellows with the sacral and the solar plexus. 2 more. And the root is that thing, you know, we feel the pressure from the root to move or not. It's also the thing that helps us stay grounded. This is beautiful so far. That was at the bottom of the deck when these 2 came out. The star. One more. Yeah. One more to finish us out here. This feels like the calm before the storm. Like that's how I feel. Or like having been in that energy of the calm before the storm. One more. only took forever. Sorry about that. So, holy, wow. I know the Eight of Cups came out, but we might go back to that. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But technically, the Ten of Pentacles was at the bottom. Okay. Talk about, you know, just a difference in, you know, the colors on the cards. And then, of course, these are just black and white. I typically, like when I choose a deck, I'll shuffle it and I'll ask it, you know, if it wants to do whatever reading we're doing. And, you know, if it gives me kind of the traditional, like a traditional card that would be a no card, I don't use the deck. And a couple decks that I had in mind for this reading, just because they're a bit more colorful and creative and all of the things, they were like, no. Sorry. This deck shot out the Nine of Cups, which is obviously a very yes card. So anyway, I think it's so cool. Just, you know, like I said, like just kind of the difference between all of this color over here, because it's almost like I said, you know, with the colors kind of representing those bottom three chakras, which do have to do with creativity. And again, you know, with the root chakra and self-esteem, right? All of those things I feel like can be wrapped into Leo. So we start with the King of Wands here, which, like I said, is so cool. And I love that we end with the Four of Wands. And, you know, the King of Wands is the ultimate creative, right? You know, it's the highest expression of the suit. They don't conform to anybody else's idea, image. I feel like image is more important, but it's kind of like having a unique perspective or even a unique path. It could be a unique job. With the Knight of the Knight of Pentacles there. But the King of Wands is going to be an entrepreneur, right? Wands having to do with action, communication. I see them as being the information cards also, whether that's giving or receiving information, the king being the highest expression. You know, it's kind of like they would receive the information and decide what to do with it or how they want to communicate it to other people. And I love how, you know, this seems like it's kind of trickling out of the King of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles here, or the Knight of Stars in this deck. Traditionally, you know, the Knight of Pentacles is very slow moving. Pentacles have to do with our money, our time, resources, materials. It's the physical 3D world, right? It could have to do with our health. But it's slow moving. It's the slowest knight out of all of the knights in the tarot. But what's interesting too is that we have the slowest knight and the fastest moving card. All, you know, like the beginning and the end here. So, if there has been almost like an empire, like if there's been something that you have been trying to build upon, if it has something to do with being creative, it could even just be a way of expressing yourself, like authentically expressing yourself, right? And maybe it's something that you've suppressed for a long time or a period of time. It doesn't have to be, but it's like, kind of slowly deconstructing, deconditioning all that shit. But, again, like I said, it feels like this is just kind of trickling down from the King of Wands. So this feels like an aspiration, something you have been aspiring to achieve or even get to. I mean, it could even just be an authority in whatever field you're in. It could be establishing a business. Because there's a lot of success in here. Like there's a lot of positive movement. And even if, since we have this Knight of Pentacles at the beginning here, this could just be a journey that, and there's also this level of commitment and determination that comes with the Knight of Pentacles also. So you can be even making a commitment to striving for this. Being your own boss. Being your own authority. Expressing yourself however you would like to express yourself. And of course, too, even though the Knight of Pentacles is slow, there's still, the fruits of your labor are still being recognized. Like seeds are starting to blossom. You're getting to the point of being able to harvest, right? So again, I mean, like this could just be something that, maybe you're starting to see changes in your business, or even, if you're not, if you don't own your own business, like you could be seeing improvement in the job that you are doing. Maybe you're even being recognized for learning quickly or rising through the ranks quickly. And then we have the Knight of Cups here. I love that we have, I mean, the feather in both. Cups have to do with our emotions, right? Just coming out of Cancer season, right? So you could have discovered something in Cancer season that started this thing here. And it maybe even could start to make you money, or even just finding a position or a job where, it does hit you in that heart space. And I feel like we were talking about that in Cancer season too. But, I mean, the Knight of Cups is generally offering. There's an offer of love, or it's an offer that you're going to feel good about. So there could be a job offer coming in. It could be a promotion even. And with the 10 of Cups here, like the 10 of Cups is the minor arcana card to the Sun card in tarot. It's like all of the good feelings. It's feeling fulfilled, right? Like your cups are full. Everybody's cups are full. You know, that could have to do with your family, your relationships, whether they're platonic or romantic. It could even have to do with business. But there is this feeling of feeling good about where you're at. I can't get over like this feather being in both cards here. I mean, this even has a feeling of like you could be adding employees, like maybe you're getting to a point where you can do that. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be like somebody else offering something to you. You could be offering that to somebody else. Very interesting. Because again, like there's this feeling of like this kind of trickling down into the 10 of Cups. So whatever this is, whether it's, you know, something being offered to you or you offering to somebody else, you know, I mean, it's coming from the heart space. And there's a potential for it to create this stability and, like I said, like, you know, just feeling fulfilled. And those other, like anybody else who is involved in this situation would feel the same way. So it's almost like, you know, it benefits all parties involved. I mean, whether it has something to do with being monetized, you know, again, like I said, with the Pentacles, that could have to do with your physical health. So, you know, there could be a lifestyle change that is going on here. This commitment, maybe even to it. Like maybe you have this image of yourself. And, you know, the Knight of Pentacles would be really kind of committing to achieving that. I struggle, like I'm kind of in my head, like struggling with that a little bit because, you know, of course, like we want to do that from a healthy place, not, you know, based on superficial, you know, blah, blah, blahs, like all of those things. So I do want to disclaimer that. And we have the Five of Wands here, which talks about conflict, maybe even a bit of competition, but that's also the work that is required to get here to this King of Wands. Unfortunately, for us, most things don't just, kind of happen without having to put in the work. Because believe me, as a Taurus, I would love for to be able to kind of kick back and, things just kind of like work themselves out. If anything, I would love to just hibernate until things have, kinks have been unkinked. Is kinked even a word? Sorry. Like I'm like, can I just sleep until my life is figured out? Because, but anytime the Five of Wands come up, I always talk about Mulan because, it's about when they're in that camp and learning how to become a warrior, right? Like that's what the Five of Wands is. That is, the trial and error process, which I also absolutely hate. It's, like training is the thing. It's figuring things out. And sometimes, most times, a lot of the times, you have to actually do something in order to figure out if you even like doing the thing or not. Like it sounds, it could sound good in your head and then you do it and you're like, oh my gosh, no, absolutely not. Or it could even just be a matter of, again, like figuring out those kinks, like figuring out, like, what works and what doesn't. Because, the card that comes after the Five of Wands, of course, naturally is the Six of Wands, right? So whatever this is, like whatever this, training, conditioning, learning, all of the things, like whatever that is, on the other side is success. So it's definitely like this is part of the process, right? And then we have the Star card down here, which is Aquarius. So you could be dealing with this an Aquarius, you don't have to. And I also love how, we have the symbol of Aquarius here, but I love how it almost, it's almost emulating the mountains literally right next to it. So if you're near mountains, maybe it's time to take a drive into the mountains. I am certainly long overdue for that. But the Star card talks about hope and faith and kind of keeping the dream alive. There's a lot of trusting the process, which I love these two came up together because this is the process and this is trusting that process. Especially if it's something that you've been considering for a time, even if it's something that popped up in Cancer season, like even if it was something that, like either like a breakthrough, a realization, something you were finally like YOLO about. And you just, you decided that you were going to kind of switch your focus, start moving towards that thing. And within that thing, and I love how these two cards, both being cups, are also together. because there's, you know, this marriage here between what you love and it's like the emotional body is how that feels. Striving for this, the sun, you know, like striving for this, whatever your ideal is for happiness and fulfillment, purpose, right? All of the good stuff. And then there's this reminder here that it is going to take your dedication again, you know, like you're going to have to commit to it. It may not be easy, but it is going to be so worth it that we have, you know, those last two cards that we'll get to here. But, you know, reaching for the star here, like there's this feeling of don't let it be anything less than reaching for the star, you know? Let it almost kind of be that big even. I know that this probably represents the sun here, but I'm just even getting, you know, the vibe here with the star. And then we have the Chariot, which is Cancer. And again, you know, I think it's so cool since we're coming out of Cancer season, but the Chariot is like full speed ahead. It's also this, you know, divine guidance type of thing. Like you are going to kind of allow yourself to go in the direction that you feel guided to go in. You know, there's this confidence that comes with a Chariot. And then the Four of Wands is celebration, victory. There's a union type of aspect to it. You know, there's this solid foundation. Usually, like on the Four of Wands, you'll see people either celebrating or you'll see people getting married. I mean, you know, this could be an earth and a water sign here. But it is like, you know, just kind of confidently going forward to what is stable for you, or even, you know, feeling more confident because there is this stability here. Because like this talks about success, this also talks about reaching a level of, you know, success and stability. Because, you know, it's no longer, there could even be something that you are taking out, you know, because we go from the 5 to the 4 here. So that could be significant, you know, and maybe just kind of keep in the back of your mind. But, you know, I mean, we go from this, you know, kind of training and putting in effort to like this harmony here, right? Because everything is like kind of evenly spaced. There's definitely more of a sense of calm here versus over here. So there is, you know, this potential to be moving into a more solid direction. And then we have the 10 of stars at the bottom. So the 10 of pentacles here again with a 10, but pentacles having to do with our money, time, body, materials, resources, right? It also has like this family element. So it also kind of talks about legacy, but it's having, again, enough. There's this abundance quality that comes with the 10 of pentacles. We have the Queen of Wands underneath that. So, you know, could be a relationship here. And, you know, I mean, that could be, again, romantic, platonic, business. We have the Ace of Wands, the Three of Wands, and then the Judgment. All of these Wands cards, right? And how perfect for Leo season. But, you know, the Queen of Wands, very secure in themselves, right? When I see, you know, the queens are about recognizing the energy within yourself. And then the kings are about sharing it, you know, like with other people or leading other people from that space. So there is this embodiment of the fire element. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? Right? Like those are all things that you would have clarity on with, and, you know, and maybe you have that because there has been this uptick in finances. So with that, you can almost kind of explore, what am I going to do with all of this, right? Like, or you can even pull up your your notepad in your phone and really, you know, like maybe even budget or just, you know, kind of go for the things that you have been waiting for the money on. Money shows up, you're able to go for it. And maybe that's even something that you've been ruminating on for a while. Like, I would love to do this if money wasn't it wasn't you know, a factor, or when I get enough money, or when my savings, whatever the case may be, right? Because the Ace of Wands would be something new. It's a new type of passion. It's desire, right? It's, again, with the creativity element. The 5th house talks about creativity. 3 of Wands, right? Like you start kind of heading in that direction. And maybe that is a new direction. And the Judgment card talks about transformation, discernment. I also love how it's a hand that's, you know, kind of reaching up here to the ethers, right? So it's almost kind of, again, like this feeling of being guided, but also, you know, like it's the actualization of this transformation of whatever this journey is for you. That would be the Judgment card. This is beautiful. Like there's literally, I mean, there's nothing stopping. This isn't even stopping. This is just a reminder that we have to put in the work, right? We have to go for the things. We have to try the things. We have to even communicate the things, right? I also love how there are no swords. Where are all of the swords? Like the Four of Cups, Temperance, which is also fire, that's Sagittarius. And then, of course, the... Oh, no, that's the Three of Pentacles. There's not a swords card to be seen. Which is so interesting to me, because what that says to me, you know, with swords being about our thoughts, intellect, there's, you know, I always kind of see them as being the ego cards also, because that's generally where we hear our egos, is in our minds. But what that tells me is that we're not making these decisions from our minds. We're making these decisions based on, you know, our intuition with the cups, you know, like recognizing what are those things that light us up? What is the spark within ourselves with the wands, right? And how do we want to bring those things into the 3D world with the Pentacles? I mean, we do have the Star here, which is air. It's not technically swords though, right? And it is a card about almost, you know, keeping your focus, like keeping that mind focus on the goal, right? Like, what is the dream? What is the actual, what is that image that we were talking about in the beginning, right? Like, why are you doing the things that, why are you doing this? Why are you putting in so much effort? What are you committing to here? So really allowing ourselves to be guided by, you know, our, what makes us feel good. And I love that, because that is going to be the thing that brings the most transformation here with the Judgment card. Beautiful. I'm pumped. I am pumped. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.